I'm hoping I can make this video for y'all before I get totally rained out. As you know, Hank and I have been working to treat all the flocks out here for mites. We have had a very serious mite reinfestation this year. We can't seem to get rid of it. I've tried all of my normal things with permethrin dust and ivermectin and all of like the simple things, has not gotten rid of the mites. So we have had to resort to using Electro PSP, which honestly is one of the better products. It's just one of the more expensive products. So we have resorted to actually dipping everybody in Electro PSP, which I have videos on recently. However, I got a lot of pens out here, and basically we have like an outer perimeter of pens, and then we have like the OG chicken house in the center. So at this point, we have completed all of the outer pens, and we're about to get to the inner pen this weekend. So this lady right here is an Isabel Americana hen. She is from one of the inner pens, and she has a severe infestation. You may not be able to tell by me just holding her like this, but I'm going to show you the infestation. And here's the thing, even though we are going to dip everybody in Electro PSP, I'm going to go ahead and wash. Ew, I just realized that I'm talking about her mites while holding her close to me. But look, I'm done taking care of birds for the day. This is the last thing I'm doing before I go inside, because here's the thing. What I've been doing is going through all of the outer coops to work out there first, and then coming to the inner coops so that I don't track mites from these coops back into the treated coops. Poultry mites are poultry specific, and that they need to eat, like feast off poultry and their blood and their dander or whatever it is they eat. They can't survive feeding off other animals or humans, but they can hitch rides. Okay, so anyways, I'm going to wash her in Dawn dish soap before we treat, just because I can see the mites on her. She's very uncomfortable. They're really bad. Looking at her, okay, look at her vent. Do you see how it looks all dirty? I mean, it is dirty. But this is a good spot right up in here. Do you see how all that looks really dirty up in there? Those are all mites crawling around in there. It looks like poop, but when you get close enough, you see them all, all up the feather shafts right there. Those are all mites in there. And what's interesting this time around, so normally I see the mites congregate around the vent. That's where they like to be. But they have been finding their way up around the head too. Do you see right in there how it also is looking really dirty? She's also got mites all up in here around her head. It's almost like they're smart because she can't get to them there to preen. Sometimes your first symptoms of mites are going to be like what you're seeing on her with that dirty vent there and feathers missing because she's picking them out because she's trying to clean herself. She's trying to preen those mites off, and decreased laying. Oftentimes decreased laying, like less egg production, is one of the first signs of mites that I see in a bird. Anyways, we're going to go get her all washed off right now, and I'm going to go wash myself off right now, and then we're just going to have to, ooh, I can feel them crawling on me. We're going to have to make sure we finish treatment this weekend. Now that I've got her saturated with water, you can really see the mites. This is gonna look really alarming, but this happens very fast. Mites multiply very quickly. And it's pretty crazy, right? Because when she was dry and I was holding her just now, it didn't look that bad, did it? I mean, I knew it was gonna be that bad because I have seen this before, but it's pretty serious. Okay, look, you see this? And this is all at the top of the tail. Those are all mites, all over the feathers. Down the back of the vent, she's got some scab. These are all mites. All that darkness in there is all mites. And now that I'm closer to her head, we can see, excuse me, friend, all those little mites moving. She must be so uncomfortable. So she's a little wet and uncomfortable, but she was already very uncomfortable and probably was very quickly going to become anemic, because that's what happens. The mites suck out the nutrients, they suck out the blood, and the birds suffer from vitamin deficiencies, anemia issues, compromised immune system. You got to get rid of them. But you can see that for the most part, the mites are off. There's still some lingering. All these scabs are from her trying to preen the mites. I know if this is your first time seeing this, it looks really alarming, and it is. It's serious. It needs to be remedied, but it is something that happens, and she will likely make a full recovery. The other thing that's interesting is she is way worse off than anybody else in her coop. It always seems to go that way, where there's like a sacrificial bird that has them the worst. Maybe it has to do with genetics. Maybe it has to do with the way those particular birds clean themselves compared to the other birds. I don't know, but she is the one in that coop.